for some fight night.
If you ain't paying attention, you're gonna sleep on me and I'm gonna wake you up.
All right, AJ, I'm gonna have you go first. Give me your first sleeper for UFC Vegas 20.
Thank you very much, Derek. And my first sleeper leading us off this week is Dustin Jacoby versus Maxine Grisham, right? Now, Dustin Jacoby is coming out of Glory Kickboxing and riding a high streak all the way through the Contender Series. And Jacoby, he's a mean and technically strong striker. Now, Maxine Grisham made the news by taking a short notice fight against Tybura and handled himself very, very well until the later parts of round 3. He starched Antagulov in his last fight and now faces a bruiser of an opponent in Jacoby. Now, I'm very excited. And this fight's a sleeper to me because this is two of the very first fight of the night, first off. And it's two very talented strikers going at it. It should be a very fast and entertaining fight. Who's your first sleeper, Derek?
All right, for my first one, I'm going with some women bantamweights here. And this is a really interesting contest to me because what we have is Alexis Davis, ranked fighter coming in, who's a grizzled vet. You know what I'm saying? She's kind of been around for a while. She's got wins over Liz Carmouche, Jessica Ai, and even a knockout over Amanda Nunes back in 2011. Who would have thought that? And she's facing off against a young phenom in Sabina Mazo, man. I think her nickname is like the Colombian Queen or whatever the case may be, but she's a long, rangy striker who is looking to take your head off. Now, she's mainly a decision fighter, but nonetheless, man, she's a former LFA flyweight champion. And so we got Alexis Davis, UFC vet, who's on the 3-fight losing streak versus Sabina Mazo, who's on the 3-fight win streak, man. So this is going to be another iteration of out with the old, in with the new, or the old gatekeeper saying, nah, I'm not having none of that, man. So that's my first sleeper, and folks, you're going to have to tune in for that one. What you got next, AJ?
Seems like that's the case going forward, Derek. And this is another one of those, exactly. I got Alex Oliveira versus Ramazan Kuramagomedov. This is another one, Kuramagomedov, excuse me. Now, time-tested Cowboy Oliveira is back at it again against another young and up-and-coming Russian. When those chips were stacked against him in his last fight, he didn't fare too well. But Ramazan Kuramagomedov steps in against this old dog and proving to beat that Russia always beats Brazil every single time. He's young, undefeated, and very slick at mixing it up. Now, I'm very excited about this fight. And you need to pay attention because Kuramagomedov is one of those new breeds of Russian fighters that are coming out that don't solely depend on ground and pound and sambo. He's very dangerous on the feet and very slick striking. Now, if he can take out Cowboy Oliveira in impressive fashion, I expect big things in his future. Or it's going to be the old gatekeeper Oliveira staying tight and hanging out with the boys. You know what I'm saying? Who's your next sleeper, Derek?
Well, first, man, you got to give respect to Cowboy Oliveira simply for being game, taking on an undefeated 8-0 fighter just on, a couple days' notice? I love it. That's what I love to see out here, man. But my next sleeper isn't really a sleeper at all. This was a main card bout that got moved down to the prelims because William Knight versus Alonzo Menafield got scrapped because Menafield tested positive for COVID-19, and that fight has been postponed and will be moved after the Derek Brunson, Kevin Holland fight in March. But nonetheless, my sleeper is number 12 ranked Angela Hill facing off against Ashley Yoder. This is a rematch in the women's strawweight division, and the first fight took place back at the Ultimate Fighter 25, man. This was a long time ago, and so this is the reason why it's a sleeper. Angela Hill came in as a minus 400 favorite going into this fight, and listen, man, while I'm the biggest Angela Hill fan, you know this, AJ, I just think that's a little bit steep, and I think that Ashley Yoder has shown that she's game, man. She's not no pushover, and her sprawls and her BJJ is pretty damn legit. Angela Hill, she's 3-2 in her last 5. She really should be 5-0, you know what I mean? She lost a couple split decisions that a lot of people didn't agree with. And Ashley Yoder, 3-2 in her last 5. Like I said, she's a BJJ technician, and she's looking to avenge that loss at the Ultimate Fighter 25. So bad blood, but not really. These fighters both independently took this fight on 6 days' notice to come and, fill up another slot here on UFC Vegas 20. So definitely tune in. Also, Angela Hill, she has to make a run at this point, man. 36 years old. I didn't believe it when I saw it, man. She looks so young. She got so much youth and all that. But listen, man, now's the time. So give me your third sleeper, AJ.
It's going to be a hell of a scrap, Derek. And this is another rematch, just like yours previously. And I got Pedro Munoz versus Jimmy Rivera. Now, two old names that you think like, man, this ain't a sleeper. We know these dudes are going to bang. But all I need to say is exactly that. Pedro Munoz versus Jimmy Rivera. It's going to be a banger. And I really wanted to give some shine just because they're so low on the main card that, it's almost disrespectful, UFC, to put that many people in front of them. But it also speaks to the talent of those others in front. Now, all I'm looking for is look for these dudes to put out a huge pace and some crazy damages in the exchanges. And you can add this one to that don't blink category that we've been talking about before. Who's your sleeper, Derek?
I definitely agree with you, man. I do think there's a little disrespect here. I think Munoz versus Rivera too could be a co-main event for sure. Maybe not a main event, but a co-main definitely, you know. So listen, man, my last sleeper, this is a main card, so I'm going to talk about this actually right next after this. So all I'm going to say is Alex Caceres, Bruce Leroy facing off against Kevin, the hard-hitting hillbilly Kroom, man. This is a sleeper because y'all don't know who Kevin Kroom is. I know who Kevin Kroom is, and the majority of the UFC fandom is going to find out who Kevin Kroom is, but I'll just say he's being trained by James Krause at Glory MMA. This dude knocked out Roosevelt Roberts on 1 day notice and then got his win overturned to a no contest because he got caught for smoking weed. Like I said, took the fight on 1 day's notice, and now you don't even get in trouble for testing positive for weed anymore, at least when it's not in competition. So listen, man, he should be on a 4-fight win streak, but he's not because of that. Nonetheless, he's still on a 3-fight win streak, and y'all are really about to find